What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of Find Your Edge. My name is Jordan Nagoli, and I'm your host today. And thank you to everyone that is watching or listening wherever you are in the world. Today, we have got on the man himself, Theo Walker. Theo is the founder and owner of Golden Anchor Tattoo, which is the best tattoo shop in Atlanta and the Southeast. I think Theo is one of the best tattoo artists out there. He's a humble guy himself. I'm a brag for him. But Theo's done most of all my tattoos. He's done a lot for me personally and professionally, and I'm just excited to have him on the show today. Theo, my brother, welcome.
Thank you, man. Thank you for having me, bro. That was a great intro. I don't know how to follow that, but I appreciate the kind words, man. I appreciate the opportunity to be on this show because this is a real good setup, man. I like the Mandalorian stuff you got. This season has been pretty good. I don't know if you've been watching.
I have.
Yeah. But yeah, like, so what do you want me to talk about, man? I'm here to kind of give my story, I guess.
Yeah.
And if you find anything interesting about me, man, just bring it out of me, man.
Let's do it, bro. Let's do it. Let's get it. So let's start with this, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're a humble guy, and I think a lot of that comes from confidence. What do you tell people? Obviously, they see you do tattoos, but when you introduce yourself, do you say, I'm founder, owner of Golden Anchor, you keep it more chill, I'm a tattoo artist? How do you describe yourself to people?
When I introduce myself, I would say I'm more chill with it. I never really lead with that I'm an owner of a tattoo shop. I always just say, like, yeah, I'm a tattoo artist. Honestly, I mean, I really don't even tell people that unless they want to know. Like, they either see my tattoos and they ask, like, are you a tattoo artist or stuff like that. But a lot of times people ask me, like, where do I get my tattoos done, like, especially the ones on my neck. And then I just tell them the artist and the shop, go to Anchor. Yeah. But I don't tell them, like, I work there just because, I mean, some of that is more just because I don't feel like answering, tattoo questions outside of work, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, I try to be low key about everything, honestly. I'm a pretty chill guy. I don't like to be out in the, like, being too visible, if that makes sense. But I do want the brand to be visible. So it's one of those things, I guess I got to kind of balance. Like, I'm showing some more of my personal side and all that, but also keeping some things, just to yourself and private with your family, stuff like that too.
Yeah. I respect that, man. You're, I look at you as like a quiet hustler to where,
I appreciate that.
you move in silence. G's move in silence. Shout out Wayne.
Yeah. Shout out Wayne.
Yeah, man. And I just admire that from you because, you're a few years older than me as a business owner. I've got to see you grow. And I want to tell people how you and I met, actually.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Because the background of the story, because I don't even know I don't know if you realize what you guys did for us at that time. So everybody listening, Golden Anchor opened 2016, right?
Mm-hmm.
Our businesses, Force Media started 2016, Golden Anchor started 2016. And I wanted to be the in-game host and MC for the Atlanta Hawks. And I had this crazy idea to make this viral video to get their attention. So one of the ideas in the video was to get a tattoo of the Hawks logo on my chest. It's one of the factors. So, man, I hit up multiple tattoo shops, and I actually went back and looked at the emails in prep for the interview. Not one person responded.
Oh, wow.
But Theo responded in 24 minutes. And
yeah, I guess I was eager back then, man. And I saw Hawks. I'm a big Hawks fan. You're a big Hawks fan. So I was like, yeah, man, let's just do it.
Yeah, but bro, what was crazy was, so you let us come into the shop, bro. You let us film for free. You didn't charge us anything. You gave us your time, which was really, really meant a lot to me. And the video worked, everybody. The video worked. We got the attention of the Atlanta Hawks. I made it to the finals of the MC. I completely bombed my final competition.
Man.
Bad.
I never knew that, yeah. So how does the contest even work, like in, I guess, the final round?
So here's what was crazy. They didn't have a job opening at the time. So we made the video in the summer, maybe like June.
Okay.
Posted it and then got reached out to by their VP of marketing or creative services. And I'll never forget, he said, all right, Jordan, you win. The video's really good. Come in for a meeting.
Wow.
They happen to be hosting trials for interviews for the next host over the next 3 months. And they're like, all right, Jordan, we love this video. We love you as a host. You'll skip through the preliminaries and you'll go ahead to the finals.
Dang,
so they said about, I think, between 300 to 400 people applied.
Wow.
And there was top 20 people. So the video got me into the top 20 out of 400.
Wow. Okay.
Bro, I show up there. I get there maybe at 1 p.m. And what they end up giving us was something like American Idol, bro. Like you have a number on your shirt.
What?
They gave you 3 paragraphs to memorize. And one always will stick in my mind. It was about the Popcornopolis. And you had to basically pretend you're on camera and bring all the energy and just say your lines. So
That sounds tough.
it was. And they gave us the lines. There's a couple sentences for 3 paragraphs. And then I was number 19 out of 20 to go.
Oh, man.
So I got there at 1 p.m., bro. I did not go into the interview until 7:45.
So you already crashed by then.
Oh, bro, I was done. I see people coming
man.
out excited, crying, happy, mad, everything, bro. And bro, I met these people like how we were at the competition, the tattoo competition last week, and you saw other good people out there. You're like, oh, bro, like I'm not the best here. Like I'm good, but there are people better than me.
There's levels to it.
And there's levels to this stuff. And I was nervous, man. And at that time, I don't even think I was 23. I think I was 22.
Fresh in the game.
So, bro, this is why I panicked. I memorized every word. I walk inside. There's a huge table of people, maybe 20 people up front, a whole group of cheerleaders on the left, a whole group of marketing people on the right. Bro, probably like 40 people in that room. I come in with the microphone. Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm Jordan. Crickets. Not a sound. No one said a word to me. No one reacted.
Man.
I started saying my lines, bro. Bro, I froze. I forgot my lines. Panicked. My voice got shaky.
I can never see you doing that. Like knowing you, like how you are behind the camera, man. Like I don't know, but everybody starts somewhere, right?
Bro, everybody starts somewhere.
Yeah.
It's not about me, but to answer your question, that's what happened.
That was a cool story, man.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah.
And bro, well, here's what's crazy. Did the gig, didn't get it. Checked in the next week. I didn't get the job. Bro, I'll never forget, man. I cried that day. I was super upset. I was super sad. And man, it ended up being a blessing in disguise because I ended up getting to focus on Force Media and everything that we are today. But for everyone listening, that's how Theo and I know one another.
Yep.
And I said, Theo, whenever I really want to get a tattoo, I'll come in and get it. I got a small one on my hip from Tez.
Yep.
Fast forward 5 years later, you did my Goku tattoo on my leg, and now we're working on my sleeve.
Oh yeah.
So bro, thanks for introducing me to the tattoo world, giving me a chance, helping me with the Hawks,
Nah, that's no problem, man.
and helping to get where we are today.
Nah, that's crazy. I never knew that one, video could lead to that chain of events, man. That's crazy.
Yeah.
At the time I was just looking at us, hey, like I'll help, like from one small business owner to another, like help each other out. And then you were a cool dude. So I was like, why not?
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, bro. I had to share that because most people don't know, and that really was like a big trajectory for us because the video put us on the map, put my name on the map, and it gave me confidence. Even though I failed, it really showed me like, man, we did it.
Nah,
Like,
man.
I didn't get the job, but we got there.
That's what life's about, honestly. It's like how you respond to failure, because I've definitely had similar situations in tattooing where, you get close, but you just quite not make that mark. And then from there, it just pushes you and it gives you that knowledge and confidence to go harder. So I definitely can relate to your story, man. That's really cool.
Thanks, bro. And that's what I'm excited to dive into you. Before we go back in time and tell really kind of your journey to get to where you are today, can you just give a quick overview of what to present day Golden Anchor is like, the artist there, what kind of tattoos you guys offer for people? Okay.
So Golden Anchor Tattoo right now, man, we've been in the game for about 7 years, I want to say. Like I said, 2016. Over the years, we've grown a lot. Right now, it's 6 artists total, including me. We got pretty much all styles of tattooing in the shop. And that's something I really wanted. When I opened Golden Anchor, I really wanted to have that versatility. I didn't want it to be just, a traditional shop or just a black and gray realism shop. So, because myself, I was never just a one style type of guy. Like I always like tattooing in multiple styles. To me, it just keeps tattooing fresh. So I wanted the shop to kind of have that same philosophy. So now we got artists who master lettering, anime, realism, watercolor, abstract. It's pretty much a little bit of everything. So we focus on customer service and just bringing like a real chill, relaxed environment, clean. And when you come, you're just going to get a good quality product and you're going to have a good time. No egos, no extra BS, just good tattooing and solid people. Yeah.
That's describing it well. I've experienced it both on the professional side, helping film, and then on the personal side.
Oh yeah.
And bro, it's a fun time. Like when you get to hang out and get a tattoo done, and
it's like going to a barbershop or something like that, or a hair salon. You're gonna be sitting in a chair for hours usually, and you're going to be sitting there with strangers most likely. So it's good to kind of have that camaraderie with everybody. And us at the shop, we like to joke around a lot and talk trash or whatever. So we'll have something going on the TVs, and we just try to keep everybody entertained. Try to keep the clients' minds off of the pain, because obviously it's not a fun experience getting tattooed.
Yeah.
I mean, the outside stuff is fun, but the actual needle on the skin isn't the best part. But it's worth it for the end product, though.
Yeah, man, you guys have built something great, and
I appreciate that, man.
I think it'll be cool to see how you guys got to that point, helping tell your story.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go back in time, brother. Where were you born?
I was born in Pensacola, Florida.
Okay.
I was only there for maybe 2-3 months. Then my dad, he was in Atlanta. But funny story, my mom basically was mad at my dad at the time, and my grandma lived in Florida. So she, while she was pregnant with me, she went down to Florida and had me, and then eventually made up, brought me back to Atlanta. And that's pretty much where I grew up for my life, and that's where I'm still at today.
Yeah. So Atlanta is home. I know you love Atlanta, man. Tell me about your childhood, bro. Do you have siblings? Only child?
Only child. Yeah. So basically, being an only child, you kind of have to learn to keep yourself entertained. For me, like, I know a lot of other only children, they kind of resent it or hate it. For me, it wasn't that bad. Like, of course, there's times where you're like, man, I wish I had a brother or sister for a moment like this, but it was never to the point where I felt like I was kind of robbed of anything in childhood. It kind of more so just kind of made me able to operate on my own. So it's kind of why I am how I am today. I'm very laid back. I'm a homebody. So I'm pretty much chilling at the house all the time. I'll go out to do stuff, but it's not necessary for me. So I kind of basically credit that to my childhood, just because I had to learn how to entertain myself. That's why I got into anime, video games as a kid. Just needed something to entertain myself.
Yep.
Played video games all the time, watching Dragon Ball Z, of course.
I was going to say, do you remember the first anime or manga or thing that like got you hooked?
I mean, the stuff on the TV, of course, like Pokemon, Dragon Ball Z, was it Ronin Warriors, stuff like that. But I would say my first real anime experience where I really fell in love with anime would be first, you remember Blockbuster, right? Yeah, 90s. Okay, yeah. So we used to go there all the time, man. They had the anime section. So my mom, like, she every now and then, like, if it was a weekend, she'll let me like rent anime. So of course, to her, it's just like cartoons. She doesn't know like a lot of these animes should not be viewed by kids.
No.
So I'm like, I don't know, maybe 7, 8 years old, and I'm just picking stuff that just looks cool to me. So I would say I rented this anime called Berserk. It was a series back then. And it's a very dark anime, but long story short, I watched it. I fell in love with it, even though it's definitely something.
You're a kid, like under 10?
Yeah, exactly. It's definitely rated like M for mature, like at this point. But that's when I fell in love. I was hooked, man. But other than that, my childhood was good. Like, it's ups and downs, but I definitely would say I never went a time where I was without, my mom and my parents, they made sure they took care of me and all that stuff. So I definitely appreciate that.
Yeah.
My mom still that, no hard work ethic to me, just seeing her grind. And so that made me want to grind too.
Yeah.
And
are you close with your parents?
Yeah.
Were you close with your parents growing up?
Yeah, definitely. Big mama's boy. Love my dad too.
Yeah.
So it's just us three kind of, of course, like, I'm close to my grandmas and cousins, aunties, and stuff like that too. But we all kind of live far away. A lot of times we did live with my grandmas at times, so that's why I would say I was probably closer with them. But for the most part, it's me, my mom, and my dad. So
yeah. And your mom is your mom born in Thailand?
Yeah, she was born in Thailand. She came to America when she was 18.
Nice.
Yeah, and pretty much, she came to Atlanta and met my dad, and that was pretty much it. And that's how it happened. Yeah,
that's how it happened. Man, what was it like growing up with two different cultures? Your mom from Thai side.
Yeah, my dad's black. From Atlanta. It was cool, man. I loved it. Like, it has its ups and downs. Like, of course, you're going through childhood. You being mixed. Like, you're gonna get like bullied here and there. But honestly, what kid doesn't get bullied at some point? I mean, so. To me, I enjoyed it because I got to experience different things that an average person wouldn't, just being in one culture, you know.
Yeah.
And I got to even go to Thailand when I was a kid.
That's cool.
Yeah. So I still haven't even been as an adult yet, so want to go back for sure. But to me, it's a blessing. I wouldn't change anything.
Yeah.
I would keep it like that for sure.
That's cool, man. Yeah, getting exposed to different cultures is really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
My dad is Albanian, and all his side's Albanian.
Cool.
My mom's British.
Oh man,
she was born in Manchester. So man, we don't.
So did your parents have like accents at all?
My mom still has an accent to this day. Actually,
so it never like brushed off on you, I guess.
It did. I had speech therapy for 3 years as a kid. Yeah, bro. I had a strong British accent as a child.
I can't even picture you with British accent.
I know, bro. So
that's wild.
Dog, but bro, going back to like what happened as a child, people couldn't understand me because I would drop my R's, and I basically copied my mom. I was a mama's boy too. Like,
yeah.
I'm close with both my parents now, but bro, growing up, it was me and my mom. I wanted to follow in her footsteps, and I basically copy how she would talk, and it would cause problems for me in school. Kids couldn't understand me, so every day after school, 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade, I'd have speech therapy, and bro, like it made me feel insecure. Bro, what I didn't know at that time, all that training was going to help me be a good speaker when I was older.
That's crazy. Yeah, like, I'm a big believer everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, bro.
Like I said, all the ups and downs I went through in childhood, I feel like that shaped me to who I am today and gave me my drive and my work ethic. So I wouldn't change it for sure.
Yeah. When you say ups and downs, just challenges you going through as a family, because like, bro, you have a super hard work ethic, and you said your mom instilled that in you. So
yeah,
what comes to mind, like ups and downs you guys were facing?
Just what any kind of family will go through, I guess. At times, financial stuff, but like I said, my mom, she never like had me in a situation where I was like homeless or nothing like that, or I didn't know where my next meal was coming from. But we didn't grow up like with a lot of money either, you know. So like I said, a lot of times we had to live with family members and stuff like that. But to me, as a kid, I was always happy. Like I never knew anything was wrong or nothing like that. So my mom, she from pretty much all my life, she works hard. Like she went to college while she after her, like, so this is before I was born, before she completed college. She's a nurse now. So before she became a nurse, I remember she would have class and then go work the night shift and all that stuff like that. And now, you know, when she became a nurse, she's out there grinding, doing those long nurse shifts and all that stuff. But she did it, you know, to take care of me and the family. So I always appreciate that for her. And I didn't want to let that go in vain. So that's what kind of put that drive into me, that I know if my mom is going through it and could do it, then I could push myself and do it too.
That's real, bro. When you see your parents doing something and when you gain that knowledge, that consciousness as a kid, and you're like, wow. And then I'm sure you've reflected as an adult. Yeah. And now that you're married, you've got a baby boy. You're like, damn. Yeah. My mom was really working hard.
Recently we had our son, our first child.
Congrats,
6 months. And just for me personally, I know it's just put a whole different perspective on just everything on parents, moms, especially, like not only just taking care of the child, but the whole process before, like being pregnant, having the baby, recovering, like it's definitely put a whole different view in my head, because you got to respect it. And just being a parent, man, and then still, you know, working, running a business is, there's challenges, but like you said, that everything that I went through in my childhood and growing up, it helped prepare me for now. So I'm thankful for it, for sure.
I'm glad, man, and you connect all the pieces back together. I'm now the age that my parents were when they had me and my brother. I was like, damn.
That's crazy.
I called my mom. I was like, I don't know how y'all did this.
Yeah, especially like multiple kids. Like just one child is crazy. So having more than one, like, I salute to all the parents who do that. For sure.
I'm right there with him, man. I'm right there with him. So childhood, man, obviously into anime. What about sports?
Yeah, so honestly, I was like a late bloomer in sports. Like my parents never like put me in sports growing up. They weren't the type to, like, you know, you have to do something, you know, because even though my dad, he was into sports, he wasn't the type to want to live like vicariously through me. Like whatever I wanted to do, they kind of supported. So when I got into high school, that's when I started to get more interested in sports. I started with track my freshman year. Terrible. I'm not good at running. So I definitely said like, nah, it's not for me. I love basketball, but to be honest, I just wasn't good enough to make the team. So I went to the next resort was the football. So I went to football, fell in love with it. I also fell in love with just watching pro sports at the time. So at that time, I want to say high school, that was a while ago. So it was like 04, '08. So basically Vic was the quarterback and of the Falcons back then. So
Shout
like
out
it was,
Vic.
yeah, it was an era, man. He was like the Allen Iverson of the NFL, you know.
That's
So
a good comparison.
yeah. He brought that swagger, man, and he just had the whole city like electrified. So of course I just like
Yeah.
fell in love with the Falcons, and I was like, I want to play football.
Uh,
So I played that in high school. It was cool. Like school I went to, it was one of those like they were really serious about football. So it was more like a job than anything. Like we'd be practicing till like 8 o'clock. Sometimes I'd get home to like 9. You know, and then have to go back to school the next day. So it kind of took the passion away of actually playing it. But from that point, I just fell in love with watching it.
yeah.
Mm.
Makes sense, man. So at what point did you get interested in artistry, in creativity and things like that?
So I would say I would dabble with art as a kid here and there, but I never really took it serious.
Mhm.
Like it was just more for fun. And even in high school, like I would take the art classes and I enjoyed it. I saw like I had potential, but I never because they always they drill in your head like you can't get a career with art. Don't go to college to get an art degree and this and
Yeah.
that. So I was just like, yeah, I'm not going to really focus on it because it's not a viable career path, right? But when I got into college, I went to college. I was going to college to be a physical therapist. So
Oh wow, I didn't know
yeah,
that.
yeah. So that was the original game plan. So I was getting an exercise science degree, and I probably say about my third year in there, I really just I knew it wasn't for me because I would see all the other my classmates talk about their plans to be a physical therapist and like what they were going to do in the future, and they were just excited. They had that passion for it, and
Mhm.
I didn't, man. Like I was like, I can't stand these classes. I can't stand like I like learning, but I just hate school, hate tests, homework or whatever, reports, all that stuff.
Mhm.
So I was like, what do I really want to do? And I was just looking through everything, all the options. I was about to switch majors, but I couldn't find a major I wanted to switch to. And at the time, I was obsessed with getting tattoos. Like I would say like I was like what 19, 20 or something, and I already had like full sleeve, my chest done. Like I
Wow.
was in a tattoo shop like every month at least.
Wow.
Yeah. So and every time I would go, I would fall more in love with the culture. Like just seeing people do what they love and like putting art on skin and seeing like my first like realistic tattoos on skin. Because before I was like it was just like '90s tribal, simple like the little Looney Tunes cartoons, tattoos,
Yeah.
stuff like that. And I was like, those are cool. But when I saw like a portrait being done on somebody's skin, I was like, wow, I didn't know you could do that.
Mm.
So, back in my head, I was like, man, I wish I could be a tattoo artist. But
Yeah.
I didn't think I was good enough to do it right. Then I guess just one day, I don't know what flip the switch for me, but I just decided like, you know what, I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna try it. Like fuck it, why not?
Yeah.
So while I was still in school, I basically like I still had like a room to take some extra classes. So I took some art classes. Like I forgot which ones. Like, kind of the beginner like art classes in college, and just to see like okay, like let me get back, like let me really start taking art serious. So I took those. I really enjoyed it, man. Like I was like, man, I'm loving learning about it. Like I was drawing all the time in my free time, and like I didn't switch majors or nothing because I was like, I spent all that money student loans. Like, let me just
Yeah.
go ahead and knock this out.
And
But
where were you at school?
Georgia State,
Nice.
yeah. So pretty much, I was kind of preparing myself to go after tattooing, but I just knew I wanted to kind of just work on my own skills first. So I was doing that, and then I actually started just teaching myself tattooing, just whatever info and knowledge I could find. It wasn't that much back then. YouTube wasn't as big as it is now. So whatever knowledge I had to get, I had to kind of scrape. And I really wasn't going anywhere with it. Like, so I knew like I needed to actually like, if I want a tattoo, like, I got to take it serious and get an apprenticeship. So pretty much once I graduated college, like, I went searching for an apprenticeship, and it's crazy circumstances. I ended up finally finding one, and it wasn't like the best shop, but pretty much it was my foot in the door. And from that point, like, I never looked back. Like, I'm all in this. So
Damn.
yeah.
I didn't realize that, man. Before we dive, because that's really interesting. You mentioned a couple things. I didn't know. So how old were you when you got your first tattoo? 18?
18, yep. Right. Still in high school, yep. Yeah.
What was the tattoo?
Oh, I'm sorry. It was some Bible verse. Actually, this one right here.
Right there.
Yeah, Mom. Proverbs 10:19. Yeah.
Nice.
I was just, my mom, she's very religious. She's Christian. So, yeah, I grew up in church. So I was like, let me get something that I know like would be cool, Mom.
I was going to ask, was it also to appease her a little bit?
Yeah, definitely. So I was like, let me get a Bible verse. Found
How'd she
one.
react?
It's like how any mom would. Like, she didn't trip too much. Like, she was more so, just don't get them anywhere crazy, like not on your face, on your neck or stuff like that. Like, still got to get a job, stuff like that. But she's like, all right, don't get no more though. But if you do, like, just, what I'm saying though. But other than that, like, it went by pretty well, honestly.
That's good.
Yeah. And from that point on, I think after I got my first tattoo, I got like another, maybe like a month and a half later, and like I was hooked.
So you were hooked to it. And that probably grew your fascination for the creativity, for the business side of it. And you're like, man, like you said, you were just involved in the culture.
Yeah,
because you've shown me this. There's a culture and atmosphere. And and once you're in it, it's addictive.
Yeah, no, man, it's intoxicating for sure.
Yeah.
I would say a lot of tattoo artists are born that way. Like, they never have, like, it's not their first dream, right? It's more so they get tattoos, they hang around tattoo shops, and they just kind of, this is pretty cool. Like, I could do this, and they, like I said, they might either mess with art or they're really into art, but they just, it's so hard to make a living like just off drawing. So a lot of people just don't put their time into it.
Yeah.
But I think, as an artist and everybody, honestly, like, just kind of depends on finding that.
I love that you said that there's an artist in everybody, man, because I feel like a lot of people don't explore the creative side because someone in their childhood or teenage years said, you either can't make money out of this or that should just be something you do on the side.
Yeah.
Did anybody ever, I guess that would lead to my question. Did you not feel like you were ever creative enough when you were younger? So it was just never something that you thought about doing as a business? Because like I don't have that in me.
I don't know. I would say I was pretty creative as a kid, but maybe not necessarily in that way of like just art and being an artist. Like, so I would dabble with it. As a kid, like, honestly, my dream as a kid was to become like a video game designer. So so I even like, I remember as a kid, like I drew like a mock-up console, the controller. Like, I would like dream of like the games and like plots and all that stuff in my head. But yeah, so that was like my first, like my dream job, I guess. But as I got older, I did end up taking like some game, it was more so like programming classes. So it was more on the coding side. And I really hated the coding side of things. So I was like, nah, maybe the game design isn't the way to go. Cause then I would also like read stories, articles like how game designers like work crazy hours. They don't get paid a lot. It's more just like you're doing it for the love, and which I get, gotta do, say chase your passion. But at the same time, if you can do something you love and make a decent career out of it, then that's even better,
Yeah.
So.
Fascinating, man.
Yeah.
So you wanted to be a game designer. That's really interesting. And went to college to become a physical therapist.
Yeah, that was just kind of random. I just, that was more like appeasing like my mom, like just choosing, because she like in healthcare, she always says do something in healthcare.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be a doctor. It's too much work. I was like, oh, you physical therapy, that's cool. I can work with athletes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because I also did get physical therapy when I was like 19, I would say 18 or 19, I dislocated my right shoulder and tore my labrum cartilage, so I had to get surgery and I kind of had to rehab it back. So, I got to see like firsthand how it went, and I was like, all right, this is pretty cool. Like, but as I got into it more, I even did an internship and stuff, and like to me, I didn't have the passion for it. It was more like going through the motions, and I was like, I mean, yeah, could I do this for the rest of my life? Yeah, sure, but I wouldn't be as happy. So that's what kind of just led me to go off on my own path.
And it was probably just more the traditional route, you know,
Yeah.
which by the way, I shout out all physical therapists.
Oh yeah, no. Yeah. They do. They're great. They're important.
We had one on yesterday, my trainer and therapist
yeah,
massage.
right.
Like
Nice.
we love them. The world needs them.
Mm-hmm.
But they'll tell you don't do it unless you want to do it.
Yeah,
because it's hard on the body.
I believe it. You got to do a lot of bending, helping lift the others. Probably crazy work hours still. Like that doctor life, man.
Anytime
tough.
you're working with the body. Did the shoulder injury come from boxing? Because that was one thing I wanted to talk to you about.
No, well, all right. Funny story. So I did have a shoulder injury from boxing, but not that one.
Okay.
So this one was from. I know it sounds crazy, but it was from rugby. Yeah.
What, Theo? We just getting all this from you.
I guess I had like a competitive itch back then when I was like
Clearly.
18 to 22 or something. So this is right after high school, and I just wanted to do some kind of competitive sport.
Yeah.
And at the time, my friend from high school, he was on the football team as well, and he basically said he was going to join the semi-pro rugby team for Atlanta. It was like Atlanta Renegades or something at the time. So I was like, and he never played rugby either, but he was
I
like,
didn't know we have one.
It's like a semi-pro rugby league in Georgia, in Atlanta. And they're like, it was fun, man. Like he got me to say like, all right, cool, let me try it. Went to the tryouts and practice. I mean, like I said, it's pretty niche, so if you're willing to commit, you pretty much will make the team, at least the semi-pro team, But it was actually the first game, and rugby, you don't wear pads, right? So,
Nothing.
But you're running full speed, tackling people, and I'm going after this guy like it's like after like a punt or a kickoff, whatever you want to call it, and I'm like going straight at him like a strong safety coming from like a running back or something, but basically it was just kind of one of those like wrong timing, like the angle that I went to dive tackle him at. Basically, I like let's see, let me put this down my bed. Basically, I hit his thighs right here and it kind of like shifted him, like popped my socket out. Yeah, so I ended up making a tackle, but it was like the cost of my shoulder, right?
Yeah.
So when that happened, that was my first major injury. But yeah, to fast forward, I got into boxing maybe 21 or 20, something like maybe like pretty much after I healed my shoulder up.
Yeah.
I wanted to still compete in something, right? And I knew I wasn't going back to rugby because I was like, nah, it's too much on my body. And I was always into boxing. Like I love watching boxing and MMA.
Yeah.
Growing up, and I was like, why not? It seems fun. You stay in shape, learn how to defend yourself. So let's try it. And like as a kid, I was big into karate too. So I was like,
nice.
Yeah, it was something like along that same kind of path, right?
Yeah.
But I went into it. I actually went to an MMA gym first and trained there for a while. Did all three disciplines, with the Muay Thai, regular boxing, and jiu-jitsu, and learned that I don't like jiu-jitsu or Muay Thai. I don't like getting kicked, and I don't like being choked out. So I was like, boxing, this seems like the choice for me.
Yeah.
And I ended up committing to like a just strictly boxing gym, the Decatur Boxing Club. They had a great trainer at the time, and basically I fell in love with the sport, man, and did that for some years. Even once I started tattooing, I was still boxing the amateurs on the side.
Nice.
Yeah, and my last fight, I ended up dislocating this shoulder, like throwing like a left hook, and like wrong timing kind of deal. And basically, I had to choose. I was like, man, like, because I was in the beginning, I was probably like my second year tattooing, like professionally, and I was like, I can't hurt myself and then not be able to tattoo. Like, I'm not getting paid for boxing. Like, this is just for fun. So at that point, I chose to hang it up competitively. Like, I was still trained, like as far as just like hitting the bag, going to doing mitts, stuff like that. But I had to say goodbye to the boxing career. It was fun while it lasted, though, for sure.
That's awesome, man. I didn't know. So how many amateur fights did you have?
I just had 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, it's one of those things. I spent maybe like just like my first year just just getting like experience, just sparring, training. You know, you got to get used to getting hit. And
Bro, it's scary.
Yeah.
It's scary to get hit.
Nah, for sure. But it's also something exhilarating. Like once after a sparring session, I'm sure because you did
Taido.
Taido, yeah. So I know you know in those sparring sessions, like it's when you land a hit or you just take a hit, but that adrenaline's in your body.
It is, man, and it's funny. I would compare it to like tattooing or like getting tattoos, where it's like once you have it. So what's funny is I was afraid of getting hit as a kid. I played football 1 year, never played again. I was terrified of getting hit. Got a little bit bigger my high school years, started doing karate, ended up falling in love with it, and became kind of pretty psychopathic about it, like obsessed with getting hit, and I had no value for my body. And like, I went too far on the other side.
No, I get it.
So I had to get more in touch with the Zen.
You were like on Cobra Kai side.
Yeah. I was like, I'm going to kill everyone, and I don't care if I die doing it.
Damn.
That's not healthy. You'll hurt yourself. You'll probably hurt someone else, and no one, like, you're not going to get your black belt that way. So when I saw you were boxing, because I respect anyone that does any type of martial art or any physical combat, but if you get in a ring for competition, that's different. Your adrenaline is on 10. You're competing in front of other people. You have the risk of getting knocked out. And I was just curious, bro, what did that feel like for you to be in that ring fighting against another guy that wanted to hurt you?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, like I said, your heart is pumping right before the match starts. Anxious, nervous, but once you actually start, like once that first hit lands, it's just like you kind of block out everything else, and it's just you and him in the ring. And to me, man, I loved it. I loved the feeling. Like it was just, you didn't have to depend on teammates. It was just how much, willpower you had and how much you wanted it. And to me, like I would say I didn't like getting hit, but I could take a hit. I definitely took like some big shots. But I did have to learn like not to sack. Like you take too many hits, it'll add up, over time. So
might not talk the same.
Yeah, nah. So I started, I would say, focus on getting hit less the more I box, for sure.
And that's some of the best fighters don't get hit. The best way to win a fight is don't get hit.
Right. That's Floyd's philosophy, right?
It is, man. The GOAT. So that makes sense, man. Well, bro, congratulations for doing that, and I commend you for having the spirit of a fighter.
I appreciate that, man. That's cool. You did that research stuff like that.
For sure, bro. Well, I saw that, man, and I want everyone to get in martial arts, not just for fighting. And honestly, I don't think most people should fight, but
I feel like when you, like, to your point, when you train in any kind of like martial art, it teaches you self-discipline. Like, like I would say, because most guys who are good at whatever, combat sport they would choose, they don't really have to compensate or anything, right? They usually are most chill, one of the most chill guys. Of course, you got your guys like Conor McGregor or,
and that's a show.
Yeah, exactly, right? But for the most part, everybody, it teaches you a level of self-respect and respect for other people. So I think, everybody, if possible, if they could add it to school curriculums, that'd be cool.
And I think it's a healthy outlet for people.
Exactly.
If you have people fighting, and also one of the things I loved is whenever we would have sparring matches or competitions, you have to bow afterwards. You have to shake hands. You don't have to hug. You can hug someone if you want to. But
same thing in boxing. You tap gloves, at the beginning
you have
of the
respect.
fight.
And
Exactly.
like, man, I've had drinks with people afterwards. You have a good time.
So you have some of the best camaraderie with people you just like been in a ring or in a sparring match with. Like you were just bashing each other's heads in for a minute ago.
There's nothing more humbling. I don't know if you feel this way, than getting your ass beat.
Nah, for real. Right, I definitely took my whoopings.
Yes.
But you learn from it, man. It gives you character and growth for sure.
My win-loss ratio, I'm probably 80% loss, 20% win.
Nah, man, don't even say that. I know you were killing the game.
Only because I fought against people bigger and better than me for so long that by the time I got my black belt, but bro, I probably did 7 tournaments. Dude, I lost 4 out of 5 times in the championship.
That's crazy you say that, bro. I tell like young tattoo artists who kind of like ask me about the tattoo contest and like how to get the get awards and stuff. I always tell them like for every award that I win, there's like 5 to 10 that I've lost. Like you saw at the convention when you filmed, like I entered a whole bunch of categories and only got 3. So you gotta take those losses in anything in life for sure. But you gotta grow from it.
And last thing on the martial arts, what you just said, the parallels between martial arts and the world are almost identical. Like you take wins, you take losses, you get hurt, you hurt other people. It's all the above. So that's dope, man. I'm glad we got to talk about that.
That's cool, man.
Okay, so jumping back to timeline of tattooing. So just to revisit where we were, you stopped doing physical therapy. You're addicted to tattooing. You get into the culture. You get an apprenticeship at maybe not the best spot, but it was your foot in the door.
Right.
Take me from there.
So for that point, after my apprenticeship, you just kind of get thrown into the fire. And
what's it like? What's an apprenticeship like?
Man, so every apprenticeship is different. Some apprenticeships are a great experience. I would say a good apprenticeship should go like this. You basically you're gonna do labor for the shop, obviously. So it includes like cleaning, answering the phone, talking, basically being a receptionist, but also cleaning artist stations, breaking them down, setting their stations up, and whole bunch of watching. You're gonna be watching for hours, and you can't get bored, because that's how you learn. A lot of drawing, painting, tattooing like fruits and fake skin, stuff like that. It's a lot of repetition, honestly. It's a lot of doing the same thing over and over every day, and it can get to someone who gets bored easily. I would say it could get boring, but if you really want it, you got to push yourself even through those like mundane tasks and stuff like that, just to get through it. Because if you have a good apprenticeship, it could be great for your career, because you can learn all the right techniques, all the right fundamentals. And once you're tattooing full time, you can be set to have a great career.
Yeah. Are you paid during apprenticeship, or are you paying?
So you're usually never getting paid during an apprenticeship.
Damn. It's hard.
Some apprenticeships require payment and some don't. I'm from the school of you don't charge an apprentice. Basically, to me, apprentice pays me back when they work for the shop. I would give you all this knowledge, and now you're putting in your work for the shop, and you work your way up, type of stuff like that. You do the walk-ins, the stuff that the more experienced seasoned artists may not want to do, because they're moving on to the bigger stuff. So it's just kind of like a totem pole in a way.
It's a rite of passage.
Exactly.
What it sounds like. And I guess it also weeds out the people that don't want to do the bullshit. Because, bro, and we're going to talk about this in a minute, but at face value, people see you as a tattoo artist. They first think all he does tattoos. No, bro. You got admin, you got cleaning, you got bills, you got probably
it's a lot, man.
a lot of stuff.
Nah, tattooing is way deeper than just the actual tattoo part. I tell people all the time, you can be a great artist and still be an unsuccessful tattoo artist, at least as far as business wise, because you have to not only be an artist, but you got to be a people person as well. You got to know how to talk to clients, how to stay organized, book clients, and not lose track of your appointments, stuff like that. You got to have good customer service when you're actually tattooing a person, because you can do a great piece, but if you just gave them a crappy experience, man, they're not going to come back there, because you're not the only good tattoo artist out there. There's other people that can tattoo good, so you gotta stand out in a lot of different ways. Marketing, like you said, especially nowadays, it's all about social media, and it's especially in Atlanta, it's not really the type of area where you're walking around and you just stumble upon a tattoo shop and go. It's people do their research now. They'll Google, Instagram, Yelp, and if you don't have a good reputation online, you won't get busy. You won't stay busy. It
makes sense, bro. So going back to your apprenticeship, how long was that first one that you had?
About a year.
Okay.
Yep. So to be honest, it was like I said, I knew some things going in. So because I was a bit self-taught, but it was more my apprenticeship was more knocking out the bad habits and instilling good habits. So I would say I moved through it a little bit quicker than an average apprentice would. I would say average apprenticeship would be a year minimum, but a year to 2 years, somewhere in that range. Just depends on the person themselves.
How were you able to support yourself during that time while apprenticing?
Man, I had to work on the side. I was a valet driver, so I would basically during the week, Monday through Friday, I would be at the shop from open to close. And then, funny story actually. So when I started my apprenticeship, I was actually in my very last semester of school. Okay. But I wasn't in school part anymore. I was doing an internship as a physical therapy office, because you had to do one to graduate. So I would go there from 8 to 4 or whatever time the office hours were. Leave there, go to the tattoo shop, which closed at like 10. Then do that Monday through Friday. Saturday, I would go to the shop a full day, or but then work valet driver like the night shift. Then Sunday I would do like a double just to get like 2 extra shifts in basically. So yeah, that's how I pretty much like paid for
7 days a week.
I worked 7 days a week until I finally at least got done with school part.
Yeah.
And then but then I still had to like basically once the shop knew I was done with school, it's like, okay, you should be at the shop like all the time. So it was more like I worked at the shop 6 days a week, and then I was doing valet on the weekend still. So it was it was a grind, man.
Yeah.
But to me it was worth it though. So.
And it shows you cared.
Yeah.
You really wanted it. Otherwise you wouldn't have been doing that.
Exactly.
So you do that for a year. What happens after that apprenticeship ends?
So basically that particular shop and that owner, he owned 2 shops. So I apprenticed at like his main shop, the shop that he worked at. But once I was done, there wasn't room for me to just get a booth full time. So he sent me to the second shop, and it was like the shop that was wasn't as popular as the main shop. So it was like I was kind of going in and had to kind of bring my own business type deal. Like, you know, you had walk-ins, but it wasn't crazy busy. So as an artist, fresh out apprenticeship, you don't really have that much clientele. So you're kind of dependent on walk-ins. So I kind of had to just like find ways to get clientele. So I would be at the shop. When I wasn't tattooing, I was going to the mall, handing out flyers, passing out business cards. This was like the time when Instagram just got created. So
yeah, what year are we thinking right now?
I would say
11, 12?
Yeah, like 2012.
Okay.
I would say that. So Instagram was just getting popular, but it wasn't nowhere what it is now. So like the whole concept of creating like a business off Instagram wasn't even like a real thing yet, you know? So it's really just like hustling and word of mouth. So yeah, I was tattooing and I was trying to get better at the same time, because that's the hard part, right? Like apprenticeship just gives you kind of the fundamentals, but to really grow as an artist, you got to seek knowledge after that. So what I would do, I would take whatever kind of tattoo DVD seminars I could find. I'll do that, go to conventions, get tattooed by like tattoo artists I looked up to.
Okay, that's
this
smart.
tattoo, right here is a tattoo machine by Craig Foster. He's a
Yo,
really good,
nice.
really good tattoo artist. He's on Ink Master and everything like that.
That's dope.
So I really looked up to his style, and I saw he was free at the time. Let me take a drink.
No,
real
you
quick.
good, bro. You good.
But yeah, he was free at the time. So I was like, hey, can you do this tattoo machine tattoo on me? He's like, yeah. And you know, just like that, he would drop a lot of knowledge while I was getting tattooed.
It's
kind of like you know, you're showing respect by like, hey, I'm willing to pay for you to put a tattoo on me.
Yeah.
And then at the same time, you're learning. It's like a own personal seminar. So I would do that. I would go to other tattoo shops, and you know, of course, I'll ask the owner like, hey, like, is it cool if I can sit in your shop and just watch and learn from you guys? I really look up to you.
Yeah.
So I would do that whenever I have free time. Sometimes it'd be, you know, after appointment, or if it was a slow day, I would just, hey, can I go hang out at this shop for a couple hours real quick and come back? So I would do that, and I kind of just work my way up the ladder, you know. It wasn't.
Did you have a style at that time?
Nah, man.
Okay.
Like I would say this. Like I didn't become a good tattooer until maybe like 6 or 7 years in. I feel like I mean, I would do like clean tattoos, but it was nothing like that stood out. I would say like I wasn't known for a particular style or anything like that, right? It was just I would do whatever, you know, come in and ask me of, and just
Whatever business could come in. Yeah. Makes sense.
So, but yeah, so I would basically work on drawing and painting still, and I was still trying to figure out where I wanted to be, but I was still also learning to master my techniques and hone my craft. So I wanted to master the tattoo side of it first before I started focusing on like, all right, what do I want to be known for? Like what's my style, stuff like that. But yeah, so I just put in that grind over the years, started doing tattoo conventions, traveling. That was a real eye opener. Learned a lot from just being around other artists in different areas. And yeah, it's a journey, man. It was a long grind.
Yeah, dude, as you're saying this, I'm like, damn, man.
Yeah, a lot of people think, you become a tattoo artist in like a year or two, like boom, like this is like
Popping off.
right.
Yeah.
Like, nah, man. Like I've been tattooing now for about 11 years or so. And like I said, I felt like I really started like succeeding, I guess, or being successful around at least like 7, 8 years in.
Yeah.
That's when it was like things started to really like take off, I would say.
Yeah. Do you remember a moment where you look back at something and you're like, damn, I'm proud of that one. Like, I think I've turned the corner.
I would say, it's hard to say one specific moment. I would say the moment I always remember, like I was super proud of, is when I got my first tattoo award. Even though it was just like a small traditional tattoo, and it was second place. It was nothing crazy, but it was actually on my wife's foot. So yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah,
man.
yeah. So she got to experience that with me too, and then, but from that point, it gave me confidence. It was like, okay, like at least I'm on the right track. I kind of know what I'm doing, right? Yeah. So, but it also gave me like that hunger for more, because it was like, okay, if I can win one, like why not more? Let's just keep trying. Because before I won that award, I probably entered maybe like 10 other contests and didn't win anything. So it was getting to a point where I was like, man, maybe I'm just not good enough for stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that self-doubt creeps in, but that moment happened, and from there it was just like, all right, let's keep trying. And it wasn't like an automatic, like I won that one and then boom, I started winning more, because I won that in 2016. I didn't win my next one till like the end of like 2017, like maybe like 10 conventions later or something like that. So it was definitely a lot of ups and downs, but if you keep going, just like with anything, I feel like the payoff will be there eventually.
I believe it, man. I believe it. Quick tangent. You said you had tattooed on your wife. That's awesome. You guys got to experience that together.
Yeah.
Did y'all meet through the tattoo world or just through friends?
So funny story. We actually knew each other back in high school, but we didn't date nothing in high school, but we just were friends, and we reconnected because she reached out to get a tattoo later on. But when we like before we even did the tattoo, like we just started talking and ended up I was like, oh, like she's pretty cool, and then we ended up just dating. Funny story, I never even did the tattoo that she originally reached out and asked for. Like that was just like, I don't know, we forgot about that, so it just
wow.
Yeah, so
the tattoo reached out, but then it kind of kindled a flame.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, oh wow, like forget the tattoo.
Yep.
I want you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's funny, man. And I think I saw, again, I did a lot of research on your pictures. Did you do a big back piece?
Yeah, so that was over the course of some years. We started off like it was just a small mandala. Then over the years, we just added more to it, and it was like, hey, do you want to make this like a back piece of like whole like sacred geometry back piece? Yeah. And she was like, yeah, because she loved the artwork, and honestly, she just wanted to do it for me because she knew it could be something I could enter in contests as well and travel. She would travel with me, and so a big shout out to her. Like,
it's a real one.
Oh yeah, man. Like without her, I definitely wouldn't be where I'm at today either. Because that's kind of what kind of set things off. Like we started adding more to this back piece, and we would travel and started getting some awards for it, and then started getting some attention. So it was cool, man. It's funny how everything works out.
Bro, that's so beautiful, man. So she's been with you through the whole journey pretty much.
Yeah, not the whole tattoo journey,
Golden
but like
Anchor, sorry.
Yeah, the whole Golden Anchor journey for sure.
Beautiful, man.
Yeah, it's I'm definitely thankful for it, because I feel like in tattooing, it's hard to find a partner that will understand like the sacrifice commitment it takes. Because to become a good tattoo artist, you really gotta sacrifice, commit your life to it. I'm pretty sure like you're an entrepreneur, like any entrepreneur lane, you gotta dedicate everything you got to it, and it takes a special someone to understand that and still be by your side and want to support you, because it's gonna be long nights and it's gonna be times where you wish you were at home, but you can't. You gotta take care of business, right? So
you do, bro. I was just telling Travis, who's behind the camera now, before this, like we were here all Saturday yesterday. We're here today,
right?
And I thank my wife. I was like, "Baby, thank you very much for supporting me." And she doesn't give me a hard time, man.
Yeah, my wife gave me the clearance for this instance. So
her first name's Kyla.
Yeah.
Kyla, thank you very much.
Yeah, appreciate you, baby.
Appreciate you. Appreciate the tangent. Jump back to the story. You have the apprenticeship. You're working at the other store. You're working at the other shop. Did you do any other shops before Golden Anchor? Tell me that transition story.
In all, I worked at 4 tattoo shops, I guess. So the shop that I apprenticed at, then I went to the second shop after my apprenticeship. So I would say that time period was like 2-3-ish years. I'm kind of hazy on the time frame, but then from that point, that second shop actually was closing down because, like I said, it pretty much the only business that was coming through was from me at that time. Like I was
you were
keeping
hustling.
I was hustling. So at that time, like he was like, you can come back to the other shop, but I was like, I knew I kind of like outgrew that shop, so I wanted to move on to something else. So I actually got a opportunity to go to another shop that was and it was basically like a partnership in a way. He already had a shop, but he was opening another and he needed a business partner. So it was like yeah, like I want to get some experience on this side because I was always in the entrepreneurship too. So I knew I wanted to eventually open a shop.
Mm-hmm.
So I figured like this would be a good opportunity just to get some experience on that. So I went there. It was called Ink Factory. It's not around anymore, but we were open for about 1.5 to 2 years.
And this was a partnership?
Yeah. So like I said, he already had the brand and shop already, but it's more so I've come in and kind of like help honestly like with pushing it further. Like because he was kind of old school, the partner. And I was, of course, younger, so I was more into modern stuff, social media, just having a website, just stuff like that. Like,
yeah.
So we kind of worked together. He taught me a lot of stuff too on just like getting getting the shop open and going through the whole process with the county and getting the business permits license because that's a whole struggle too with tattoo shops. It's not easy to open a tattoo shop in Georgia at least. But yeah, so I worked there for some years, but eventually like that shop was kind of like going in the wrong direction. And it's one of those things I was like, all right, like I'm the type of guy, if I feel like if I have the knowledge and experience, I wanna take a chance at it, So I was like, at that point, I had some money saved up and I was able to get a loan as well. And I was like, you know what, let me, instead of like kind of staying on a sinking ship, let me try to go on my own and just like go for it. It wasn't like the timing that I planned because I still needed a lot of growth in my tattoo skills. But at that time I was definitely building clientele up. I had a decent amount of clientele. I was getting better. Still not quite there as far as like having that style or just that name yet. But I was working on it, right? And so I was like, yeah, let's open a shop. Let's try. To myself. And basically from there that's when I went and opened Golden Anchor Tattoo.
Yeah.
And for that it's been history, you know what I mean? So it's been great.
Man, that's so special. I want to read something that I took from your Instagram. You put, today marks the 5th year anniversary for Golden Anchor Tattoo, so here's a photo done with the shop and crew. I remember spending every cent I had and getting a loan and maxing out my credit cards just to get the spot open with bare minimum, but it was worth the struggle. I had to beg artists to come work with me and believe in my vision, and only 3 believed in me back then. Y'all will always have my gratitude and trust. Well, bro, number one, that's hella inspirational.
No, I appreciate it, man. Like,
bro, I'm so proud of you. But I wanna focus a little bit more in on the challenge to get that started.
Okay, yeah,
because that's
for sure.
easy to gloss over for people.
Yeah.
And had you not gone over that hump, you wouldn't be here today.
Yeah,
where it's at. So it was tough. Tell me
now,
about that.
It was tough, man. Like I said, opening any business in general, right, is hard. Especially like a brick and mortar location. Because there's so many factors that go into it that a lot of people don't know. So,
by the way, outside of tattooing, outside of the actual work.
Yeah, no, exactly. Like, so before we even get to like the money spent, just finding the location, right? So a lot of people don't know. Even before I found the spot that Golden Anchor is right now, basically that wasn't even like the first location, first choice or anything, right? It's just I actually was looking to put the shop in Gwinnett County at first. Because that's where I lived, and I was like, it'd be something closer to home, right?
Yeah.
Found a spot, it was a decent location, and signed on for the lease. But the lease was like pending because I had to get what's called a special use permit to get a business license there. Basically, long story short, like you're in Georgia, you have zones, right, for permits. And if you're not in the correct zone for your type of business, they won't give you a business permit unless you go through this whole process to get a special use permit, right? Where you got to get approved by the county board and all of this, right? So long story short, again, I didn't get approved for that special use permit. Yeah, that was a lot of time invested, money invested, wasted, like about a month and a half of just trying to do all the steps and just to kind of get shut down before you even could get started. It was a bummer, but honestly, like the moment I got the news that it was a no-go, that very next day, like at first I was almost like ready to give up, right? And then I was like, you know what? Nah, man, fuck that. Like I'm not gonna give up. Like I know this is what I want. So let me just next morning I'm gonna wake up, I'm gonna drive to places I've never been, and I'm just and let me get out of just Gwinnett County. Let me just go. So I drove on 285 North, and I would get off the exits. And I remember seeing Chamblee Tucker exit, and I was like, I never really get off there, but I was like, something just told me, let me get off there today. I got off. I saw like the very first like shopping center right 285 like had a vacancy. So I was like, I drive in, I see, and it's like this corner spot you can't see from the street, and it's like all in the back. I'm just like, man, like, cause as a business owner, you want visibility, right? You want to be seen. I'm like, man, I don't know, like this, I don't know. But something told me like, let me at least just talk to the landlord. Let me check it out. So I called, set up a meeting, check out the spot. Like this building, like when you see it before any of the work was done, like it was old. Like it hadn't been like updated in years. Like it was, I want to say the last time it was vacant or had a occupant was like 2 or 3 years before I even came. So it's been sitting there.
Dusty.
And yeah. Like everything had walls had to be repainted, floor had to be redone. We had to put partitions up, all that stuff, right? So, but I saw something, and I was like, man, yeah, right. I was like, you know what? I'm liking this. Like, I'm seeing the business around. It's a piece of spot next door, and it's like a big lots and this and that. And so I was like, okay, people come to this place, like, and then I'm thinking like, it is right next to the highway, like, and so it is a good location to be like kind of centrally located everywhere. But I'm not in the city, so I don't have to deal with all like that kind of traffic and that kind of pricing, right? And I was like, you know what? Tattooing nowadays, like you don't really need like the traditional walk-in traffic, right? A lot of people will find you through Google, Instagram, Facebook, whatever, word of mouth, and just set appointments beforehand. So I was like, I don't necessarily need to be seen off the streets either, I can make this corner spot work, So I was like, all right, let's try it, man. Because one thing I liked, the landlord was really excited. Like he was like, yeah, we would love to have a tattoo shop here, and it was properly zoned to get a. The
landlord was cool that he liked.
Yeah, because most landlords are gonna like when you call and ask for a landlord to say like I want to see open a business in your vacant spot. The first thing they're gonna ask is like what type of business, right? And then I tell them tattoo shop, and usually you get like, nah, we're not interested, or nah, our anchor tenant's not gonna let that happen, or they just hang up straight up on you, So I was used to just like landlords like, oh, a tattoo shop, nah. But he was like, we would love that. And he was like willing to work with me, give me, the couple of months free, free rent, just so to get, license and all that situated, build out. And so I was like, all right, I like this spot. Like, let's make it happen. So go through the long ass like licensing period, man. You got to go through so many like hoops and ladders just to get the permits and all this and that.
And you're still tattooing and working at the same time doing it.
Yeah. So I was basically tattooing at the other old shop I was at, taking care of appointments, doing any permit stuff I had to do, then going helping with like fixing the place up, renovating the place, painting, putting helping with the drywall, whatever I could help with that I knew. Like my experience wasn't that good, but I tried to do whatever I could. But yeah, I was probably like a month to 2 month process. And like I said, I had money saved up. I got a loan that I'll make sure I wanted to pay that back immediately. So I hate owing people money. And then, like I said, I maxed out like my credit cards to what I could. I think I made was like $5-6 grand at least or something like that. And it still was like barely enough,
bro.
Because like the shop was clean, it was nice, but it was like I had like massage tables, not the nice chairs that you see now. the flooring was like, the what we can get, you know what I'm saying? Not the best.
People don't realize, bro, paint, flooring,
Yeah,
windows, lights,
yeah,
logos,
sign, all that, yeah.
everything, bro. What lease term? Do you remember what lease term
It
they made
was
you
a
sign?
3-year.
See, bro, that's another thing. 3 years they're making you commit.
Yeah.
Did you?
It's scary, man.
Yeah,
It's scary
bro. I was
at
gonna
first,
say.
yeah.
I feel like I know the answer. Were you scared?
Yeah,
I was.
I was definitely you're scared and nervous for sure. It's like, can I make rent? Can I do this and that?
Yeah.
Especially like you said, when you read that post, like I didn't have like a team with me at the time. Like,
So this was solo.
yeah, well, I had one artist from the old shop that because I basically helped him get into that shop. I basically helped him get an apprenticeship at the place I apprenticed at. So he was cool. Like we kind of had that bond, right?
Yeah.
So he was like, yeah, I'll come with you to this shop. But he he was kind of dependent on walk-ins and stuff like that. So it was basically like me trying to hold the shop down with my clientele because we didn't have walk-ins at first because nobody knows about your new shop. And so I didn't get those other two artists to come until maybe about a month and a half, 2 months in. One artist that I knew, I just randomly found him through Instagram, and we talked, we stayed connected, and I always told him like, hey man, like before I even open the shop, like I want to open up a shop one day. Like, would you be interested to come? Like, because he was in a similar situation too, where this is Tattoos by Tino, by the way. Tino Hernandez, great tattoo artist. He has his own shop now, man, flourishing. Nice. Has his own crew, so I'm super proud of him, happy for him. But anyways, so he was at a shop he wasn't really like growing at, and he wanted to be in a place environment where everybody was trying to push each other, right?
Yeah.
So I told him like that's what I got envisioned. That's what I'm dreaming about. So if you're down, when I open up, come on through. So I hit him back up like a month after we opened. He checked the spot out, and it wasn't much at the time, but he saw the potential. So he's like, yeah, I'll come through, and got him on board. And he knew another artist, young artist. This is Demente Tattoos, the guy who did my neck tattoos.
Yep.
He's a great black and gray artist, but he was super young at the time. He was like 20 years old or something. Like,
damn.
yeah. He started tattooing hella young, like at 16 or something. So I envy that. I wish I could have tattooed that.
Yeah.
But got him on board, and from there, yeah, it was just like
you have to like a little convincing to get them.
Honestly, he was really close with Tino.
Okay.
So basically, Tino gave Tino giving him the blessing. Like, he's like, hey, like this is a good shop. Like, you can believe in him. You can come here.
Yeah.
So he left where he was at and came here, and then from that point we just kind of grinded, man. Did conventions, like tried to get the name out, compete in contests. Eventually, like the crew started forming. The more we would go out there, the more we kind of get known. The online presence was building. The reviews were coming in, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it got, that's when I did my first apprentice. I had my own apprenticeship for somebody. That was Lartez. He came through. He was somebody coming from Mississippi chasing his dream.
Yeah.
Be a tattoo artist. So from there, yeah, everything just kind of like happened organically. Like I never had to like go to my way to find artists after that.
Yeah.
That first time, because like I said, when you open a new shop, it's hard to convince an established artist who's in a good situation to want to come. It's like because so many tattoo shops open and close like within a year or two now.
That's
it's
a good
like
point, man. It's high turnover.
Exactly. So it's like what, like I get it. Like and like I'm at the time I may have been like, man, you don't believe me, man, fuck you, man. Like, but as you get older, and then you get like I get like why you would feel that way, because anybody can open up a shop. It doesn't mean like you could say it's gonna be this and that, but there's no guarantee. You got to prove it. So I'm thankful for the guys that did give me that chance, and we were able to prove it, and here we are now. So
that's amazing, bro.
Yeah.
One more thing from that post I wanted you to speak on. You said, I wanted to open a shop that gave an equal opportunity for all artists, no matter the background, and to have the respect of the whole city. A lot of times tattoo artists of color get looked past or stereotyped, so we went out and broke that mold. Can you just speak on that, bro?
Yeah, man. Pretty much how it was said in there. There is stereotypes in tattooing, just kind of like in any business, right? Tattoo artists of color, Black, Spanish, whatever. You kind of get looked over a lot. Like especially when your clientele is mainly brown skin and melanated skin. You don't get the respect from like the tattoo magazines, the reposts. Like nowadays, like it's big on Instagram where you have like these tattoo repost pages, and they're reposting like the best tattoos, but a lot of times it's usually only on like the pale skin, right? Because that's where you get vibrant colors and stuff like that. But at least that's where what people tend to only think. But it's like, no, you can make colorful and detailed, realistic work on brown skin too. You just have to kind of know how to do it. So we wanted to break that stereotype, that mold. Like look, man, we tattooing all skin types. We're all, what I'm saying, you know our background. We got everything up in there info. So and we gonna do badass work and prove it on all skin types. So that's what we set out to do. And over the years, we've just been thankful that everything's been going great, man. Like we do the contest, winning.
On all skin types.
Yeah, all skin types,
that's
man.
What's dope.
All styles. So it's a blessing, man. Like I'm definitely proud, and it's surreal to see it, honestly.
You should be, brother. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to do the show, because, man, if there's some younger guy out there listening right now, or woman, either of them, that's like, man, I don't even know where I'd start. Like, I'm sure they can look at you for inspiration for that. So that's cool.
I appreciate that, man. That's crazy to think, because I'm still trying to figure everything out too, man.
And you're inspired by other people.
Yeah,
but it's all like one big circle, and it's a circle of life.
Exactly.
It's a circle of life. Dude, this is fascinating. Let's take a quick bathroom break.
Okay.
We'll keep going from there.
Sounds good.
All right, bro. So we're back from the bathroom break. Let's keep going on this story. So shop's open. You had the team, apprentice. You had your Lartez as the first apprentice. I have a quick question about the business side of things. You as the owner of the shop, how does it work? You have artists. Do they have to pay? Like my boy's a barber. They pay a fee each week to rent out their chair. How's it work for you guys?
So you could do, usually it's either or, right? You could either do a weekly commission, like a booth rent, you would say, or you could do, what most shops will do is like a percentage, right? So they will take a percentage of every tattoo that's done at the shop. So basically, I just do a percentage with the artist, and I supply like pretty much all of like the medical type supplies. So because every shop is different, right? They'll offer a different split, right? I try to offer a split that's high for the artist, and I try to cover a lot of supplies for them, so they don't have to go come out their own pocket for it. I just try to make it, because me being an artist, I understand like working for a shop and the owners, is trying to be greedy and trying to take as much, in their profits as they can. So to me, it's like, I want the artists to be happy, and I want them to make a lot of money. So in return, they will want to stay, and they'll, you'll make more money in the long run as an owner.
Yeah.
So to me, it makes sense, but not every business owner thinks like that, I guess. So.
Yeah. No, but I love that, man. And I've seen that, and I respect it, business owner to business owner, you invest back in your team. So technically you could run a shop almost like bare bones lean.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of shops that are run like that, bro.
The owner makes more profit, but
Yeah.
the experience is not as great for both employees
Exactly,
and customers.
Yeah, usually those shops, they either won't stay open long, or if they do, they're usually like I said, high turnover rate. Their artists usually are beginner artists just trying to build a career, so they're kind of stuck, in a situation like that. And the work may not be the greatest coming from the shop. But I would say any shop that has some good to great artists, they're either going to be, giving the artists like a lot of benefits in either like supplies, a high percentage, nice booth rent or something, or, they're going to look out for the artist some way for them.
Yeah. Another question that I had, man, was y'all stay busy. You guys
try to, man.
You do.
Bro.
And I want to hold on. Let me look this up right now, live on camera, about their reviews. They have, when I checked this morning,
We're always trying to pump those reviews up.
Golden
man.
Anchor Tattoo. They have 456 reviews, 4.9.
Damn, that's great. Bryson been working, man.
He has. Also, whoever left the 1 stars, fuck y'all. Okay,
that's not cool, man.
That's some bullshit. That ain't it. That ain't
man.
It.
You can't please everybody, right?
No, you can't. And there's some bots out there that are doing that. But my actual question was, how do y'all stay so busy? But I have a question before that.
Okay, what's the one?
How in the hell did you guys maintain such, man, like, that's incredible. 4.9 customers happy, like business owner to business owner right now. How do you like maintain that customer service across the team? And like, bro, that's so impressive.
I mean, honestly, some days I'm like, I don't know how we maintain that shit either, bro. But honestly, the thing I do the most, like, I just try to keep good people in the shop, you know. I'm very particular on who I bring in to work, and to me, the most important thing is how you treat people and how you treat each other. Uh, I don't want drama in the shop. So if there's two artists I got to pick from, and one may be a great tattoo artist, but they come with a lot of baggage, a lot of drama, bad customer service, and there's one who's may just be average in skills, but they got everything else great, you know. I'd rather go with that one, you know, because you can always become a better tattoo artist, but sometimes, you know, trying to fix a personality or just a mindset is impossible, you know, unless the person themselves wants to change that. So I'm very picky on who I bring in, and that's, to me, that's what leads to maintaining that, because everybody at the shop is, you know, on point with their business. I preach, you know, customer service, so treat everybody right. Even, you know, we get our people sometimes that, you know, it just, you try to be as patient as possible, and they still just find a way to like push your buttons. But we've thankfully never had a situation where we've gone overboard. We've been close, right? But we never like just went like, you know, insane and just like, you know, just fought a client or something like that, and nothing like that, right? But and yeah, so we just try to maintain that just with just positive vibes, man. Just that's really the main thing.
It makes sense, man, because one of the things, you know, as I built my business and just it's like culture of people. And the last time I was there, we were there for a while doing the sleeve. Man, everyone answered the phone. I saw everyone cleaning. I saw like everyone did everything. It wasn't like one person, oh, I'm not doing that. I'm above that.
Yeah, to me, it's a team effort, right? It's a shared effort. Like, so that's kind of why I'm more of the vibe. Like, all right, I'm gonna give you guys a higher percentage. All right, I'm gonna cover more things for you guys. I'm gonna try to invest as much as I can into you. But we all got to help each other. We all, you know, there is no, for me personally, for our shop, I don't think there's a reason to have like a receptionist, just because we're not a high walk-in shop. We're more of an appointment-based shop, right?
For sure.
So if we had someone, they would just be sitting there most of the day, not doing much, you know, and just answering the phone here and there. But I feel like we can answer the phone, right? You know, as a business owner, because it gives a more personal vibe too. You know, when you answer the phone, and sometimes it's me, sometimes it's Bryson, it's Christian, Emily, and you get to talk to artists directly. You know, you don't have to go through a third party, because I know a lot of times clients get frustrated. It seems like they can never speak to a tattoo artist. They got to go through hoops and ladders. So we try to be like, hey, you know, you can call the shop, come in person, email us directly, wherever you want. You know, you don't have to go through hoops and ladders. Like, you can talk to us pretty easily. And yeah, as far as like that, I try to just put in work too. Like I help with the cleaning too. Whatever they need me to do, you know, where it's just, hey, you need me to bring some paper towels to you, or you need this or that, just let me know. You know, I don't mind. We all have a say in it. Even though, you know, they'll probably joke like I got OCDs about certain stuff, like especially like cleanliness stuff.
Like what? Like,
just having a shop like looking presentable. Like, I'm a big time believer on like first impression, right?
Yes.
So I'm always like, all right, the lobby needs to like get swept, like, so, because, you know, throughout the day people are gonna walk and they're gonna leave like track in stuff, right? So you might see me like on my break, I might be vacuuming the lobby or something, just because like I'm like, no, we gotta make sure this is presentable, this is clean, you know. Just that, and keeping things organized, stuff like that. I'll just make sure, like, I'll just reorganize stuff in the bag, you know, if it's out of place, stuff like that.
Bro, that's the martial artist in you.
I guess so.
Bro, yeah, you gotta have like a clean mind. You gotta have a clean fight. That's funny, man, because you guys have a very clean shop.
I appreciate it, man. It's definitely something I feel like is important for a tattoo shop, because a lot of shops, man, don't really give that clean vibe when you go in, and I didn't want that for my shop. So to me, you getting, you know, you seeing blood, you're getting operated on with a needle, and you know, technical terms, right?
Yeah.
And you don't want it to be like, you know, a dirty environment, because, you know, this air, you know, bloodborne pathogens, all that stuff, like everything should be clean and sterile.
Yeah.
Like,
so, bro, what's been interesting is like I feel like we've seen your whole journey of, you know, from being interested in art and creativity and physical therapy to, you know, really grinding and doing valet. Let's fast forward to like present day, man, because you've been tattooing for 11 years. And I say this quoting and jokingly, it takes 10 years to become an overnight success. You know? And,
yeah, that's a good quote.
You know, you're super humble, so I'll brag on you a little bit. You've got a 2-month wait list for people coming in.
Yeah.
You've got really pieces that you want to do, like really exciting pieces. The whole shop stays really busy. Yeah, man, I guess obviously you want, I'm pretty positive you always want to be better, but how's it feel to be at this point now where it's like, man, okay, we've made it?
Man, it's
Yeah.
surreal, man, because to be honest, sometimes I feel like I just wake up and I feel like I don't even deserve it, to be honest with you. What they call like imposter syndrome, right? Yeah. So sometimes I'm just like, man, I'm not even that good, or I need to be better. You know, I got to work harder. There's people, outworking me. But then there's times I'm like, nah, man, I put in that work. Like this is like, we put in that work. We put in the time over years. Like, so this is everything coming together, everything that we believed in. So it's just a mix of feelings. But overall, I'm definitely in a good, space. Like, I'm happy with the work I get to do. The money is definitely, great. It take cares of my family, like tattooing. So to me, that's surreal, and just seeing everybody at the shop being able to take care of their family as well is a blessing. And to me, that I get more satisfaction out of like the growth of everybody at the shop and seeing them like, obtain the things that they want and the goals that they had. Because to me, it's one thing just to have success for yourself, right? But if you could do that and then lead a team to success as well, and you see them grow and do great things, then to me that's even a more rewarding feeling. Like the artists who, like I'm super proud that a lot of artists have come through the shop and worked and moved on to open their own shops and created successful brands and stuff. And it's not even like they left because they wanted. They had beef. It was more like on a, hey, like you come here, let's grow together, let's help each other out. I'll give you all the knowledge I can, and boom, you go off and do your thing, man. And it's cool to see all that growth over the years for everybody.
Yeah.
So that's the thing I guess happiest about for sure.
That's beautiful, man. I had a mentor tell me recently that you haven't experienced true leadership until you create other leaders.
Damn,
that shit hit me hard.
Yeah, that's a deep ass quote.
Because it's not easy to lead, but it's much harder to create other leaders that can go off and do their own thing.
Yeah.
So I'm sure they've thanked you, but I want to give you your flowers to say, bro, I really respect and admire that because you've helped. You have 3 apprentices, and I've met them all and seen their work, and they're incredible at what they do, and you've put them on. So I love seeing that, man. And I'm curious for you. What's the future look like? 5 to 10 years. Are there bigger goals? What have you thought about?
I definitely always have more goals. Like you reach one goal and then it's like, all right, and now I gotta make a new goal, right? Yeah. So I never want to be complacent. Right now, I would say the main thing for the immediate, let's say within 5 years, I would love to open up possibly another shop with one of the artists at the shop.
Nice.
So they're ready to take that next step, and maybe we can make Golden Anchor almost into a franchise. And so not necessarily like a McDonald's, Burger King type thing, right? But more just like this brand has already been established, so let's open another shop with the same brand, and people will relate the quality. They know, like, because Golden Anchor is attached to it, that this is going to be a good shop just like the other one. So that's like my goal, my dream now. And for those, whoever artists who are with me now who want to take that next step, I'd love to see them grow and be able to have a piece of the brand that they helped create and build, because it was not just me, like without them, I wouldn't be here, talking to you probably. Yeah. So it's a team effort. So I want to just see everybody just grow and eat, and then see just the next generation. Like I'm sure, down the line, I'll have to take in some more apprentices and teach, a new generation of tattoo artists, and just kind of see how they grow. For me personally, my end game, like, well, I won't say end game, but I would love to.
Yeah, you ain't gonna stop working. I can see it.
I'm not gonna stop working, but I would love to like retire from full-time tattooing by like, if I could do that by like 45 or something, man, like that'd be amazing. Like, cause I just want to, like I said, I got a kid now. I want to be able to enjoy him growing up and just going through life with him, and not, cause like I got a pretty sweet schedule now, but even then, like when I'm working, it's still, my work days are long. A lot of times I'm not getting home till like 10, 11 o'clock, maybe later. So by the time he's already sleeping, so it's like I want to be able to minimize those amount of days as much as at least as possible, while still doing work and, fun projects and stuff like that. But being able to be there for both is an important thing for me.
Nice,
Sure.
man. That makes sense. And I'm excited, man. I'm just excited to watch you guys continue to grow. And I got faith in everything you listed.
Man, I appreciate that. So I'm working hard. I'm trying to make it grow. I'm trying to dabble in different things, man.
Yeah.
Not just tattooing. Like I want to, get into real estate properties and
Yep.
just whatever, I can mess around. I'm big into like stocks and, investing. And so I try to dabble in as many little things as I can just to, they say you got to diversify your portfolio and can't keep all your eggs in one basket, right? So
It's true.
oh yeah, I can't tattoo forever, so I gotta have yeah.
Bro, it's a toll on the body, man.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I've seen what you guys have to go through. You mentioned the next generation. I am curious for anyone listening right now, it doesn't even have to be tattoo related. It could just be creativity or in general,
Okay.
man. What advice would you give to that next generation that's afraid to take, or just thinking about that next step and maybe in that, Jacob yesterday called it soul searching moment.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
What advice would you give to them?
What advice would I give if you're soul searching? Honestly, I would say you got to really look yourself, like in a mirror and just ask yourself, like, is this what you really want? Whatever it is, and because to me that's the most important thing is do you want this for the right reasons? Do you want it because you have this burning passion inside of you and you know this, like, you can't see yourself doing anything else? Or do you want this just because you see someone else like successful and you think it's the quickest path or it's the easiest path for you? Because if you don't really have that passion in you, then it's going to be hard when you get to those moments when you have those downs and those times where you're just questioning yourself. Because everybody's going to go through that. Like when you're chasing after a dream or a goal or whatever, you're going to have times where it doesn't go your way and you're going to start questioning, like, is this for me? Can I do this? And you need to have that resolve in you to keep going. Because to me, that's what kept me going. And like, as long as you have that resolve, honestly, and you just put in the work, like it's gonna be there. Like some form of success is gonna happen for you. I tell that to anybody who's looking for a tattoo apprenticeship or be tattoo artists too, because we get a lot of people who come to the shop and ask for apprenticeship. And unfortunately, I can't like apprentice everybody. Just don't have the room. But I try to give them as much advice as possible, and tell them like, all right, this journey is hard. Like, the chances of you finding an apprenticeship are slim. It's very based on being in the right place, right time. And don't get discouraged. Just keep at it, keep working, keep trying, and eventually you're gonna get your breakthrough. And if you stick to that, then I feel like you can do it. That's like, just don't get too down on yourself. That's the biggest thing, because a lot of people do that, I feel like.
Well said, brother. Well said. Thank you, man. I think that's exactly what people need to hear. And I think everyone that's listening to this interview can tell, like, it did not just happen for you.
No, it was not an overnight thing. It took a lot of grinding, man, but it was worth it, man. Like, to me, I'm still young, I'm still able to experience things in life at a good age. So it's worth the grind. It's worth putting in that time and effort for sure.
Yeah.
The same thing for you, like, with the your whole company, what you guys do. Like, I'm sure you didn't envision where you're at now, right? Like back when you started. So, and who knows 5 years from now where you're gonna be at, man. So that's why I tell people, like, you never know. Like, I would have never imagined, like, of course I always dreamed about having success with Golden Anchor like this. I would never imagine it came this soon, this fast. So now it's just like, what else can we do?
Yeah. Makes sense, man. Well, bro, I'm excited to just watch and see you grow. We'll wrap it up with this. I want to say thank you for two things. One, thank you for coming on and sharing your story. It's not easy to do, and you were vulnerable and honest and transparent with everything that happened. I learned a lot, and just anyone listening, I think, will really take a lot of value. Two, bro, thank you for introducing me to the culture of tattooing, making me feel comfortable, bro, because I don't know if I've ever shared, like, I'm really rigid with my personality, and I can kind of have blinders on sometimes. And bro, when I got that first small tattoo, I was nervous, man. I got it small and hidden for a reason. And then you guys made me feel comfortable, never judged. I got this on my thigh, and everyone watching, each episode you see, I'm gonna have more on my arm. So
yeah, just give some time.
Yeah, bro. But no, man, thank you. Like, you really opened up a whole new world of culture for me. I appreciate that.
I'm glad that you enjoy it so much and you really put the effort to really deep dive into the culture, man. Because not everybody does that, and so I'm just happy that you're getting everything that you're getting out of it, and it's just the beginning, man. Just wait, man. You're gonna love it, man. I love tattoos in general, whether doing it or getting it on me, man. It's awesome, bro. So thanks for having that trust in me.
Yeah.
Like I said, because back then, like I was still a nobody, man. I mean, even now I'm a nobody, but like I'm just a little more known than I was back then.
Nah,
So
bro,
I
you're the
appreciate
man,
giving me
man.
that chance, man.
You're the man, bro. I appreciate it. Thanks again, homie. And listen, to everyone out there that's watching and listening, Theo, Instagram at Art Ninja Theo, or Golden Anchor Tattoos at Golden Anchor Tattoos. He's the best. You can see the work on my arm here. I'm not going to take my pants off. You can see that another time.
Right.
But for everybody listening and watching, thank you guys so much. We appreciate you. And tune in next week for next week's episode on Find Your Edge. Y'all take care. Thank you.